This is 5 on your side at 5. Focused on you.
The nation of Israel has officially declared war following a surprise attack from the Palestinian militant group Hamas. Tonight, hundreds of people are dead and others held hostage. Thank you for joining us. I'm Mark Maxwell in for Mike Bush. In the last few hours, we learned at least 3 Americans were killed in those attacks in Israel. That's according to an internal government memo reviewed by CNN. Israeli officials also say there are Americans who are taken hostage at this hour. Hamas launched an attack on Israel from Gaza yesterday, targeting civilians and soldiers alike. Hamas sent militants across the border by land, air, and sea. Israel responded, launching airstrikes on what it says were Hamas targets in Gaza. More than 700 are dead in Israel, including hundreds at a music festival. More than 400 Palestinians are dead and thousands more hurt. Hamas also took dozens of people hostage, but officials are still trying to learn exactly how many.
Men and women and children dragged across the border into Gaza, including a Holocaust survivor in a wheelchair. People gunned down in the streets, civilians. So you can imagine the impact this is having on Israel, and it should be something that revolts the entire world.
Tonight, we're hearing from a Marquette High School grad who teaches in Jerusalem. Our Travis Cummings talks to her about what she's experiencing and has reaction from the St. Louis Jewish community.
These are photos of St. Louis and Madison Pines making memories in Jerusalem, enjoying her calling and living her best life. The 22-year-old took to the Middle East a few months ago to teach English to youth.
I have a wide range of students, and they get so excited when their English fellow comes to work with them.
Now she's bunkered down after Hamas militant fighters breached the Israeli border from Gaza in a surprise attack.
Within minutes, we were in a bomb shelter for the next 4 hours, watching the news, watching as we got red alerts, hearing the sirens.
Hundreds have been killed and thousands of others badly hurt. Pines has friends on the front line as Israel goes to war with Gaza yet again.
Maddie, what's the atmosphere like there?
It's an atmosphere filled with terror. I mean, we see Israeli families being taken hostage. We are seeing rockets exploding in front of us. We don't know what's happening. The airport is currently shut down.
Back home, the Jewish Federation of St. Louis is preparing to provide support.
It has never been like this since the founding of the state. This is unprecedented.
For 120 years, they've mobilized the Jewish community and its resources, including funding, to enhance life in St. Louis, Israel, and nationally.
For dealing with trauma, for how to rebuild their home, for finding loved ones.
With destruction looming and an unclear timeline of when the violence will cease, those like Pines living a life on the sacred ground wait anxiously.
This is the destruction of the Jewish homeland, targeting the Jewish people.
Travis Cummings, 5 on your side.
And tonight, we're also hearing from the Council on American Islamic Relations, also known as CAIR. It's the largest Muslim civil rights advocacy group which supports Palestinian Americans. Its national deputy director says all of this is the result of Israel's occupation of the West Bank.
I'm shocked and appalled whenever I see this violence breaking out. And sadly, it's happened over and over again. Palestinian people have been suffering violence at the hands of the Israeli occupation, and Israeli civilians have also suffered as a result of this ongoing occupation. It's tragic, it's horrific, and it's sad that it keeps happening. The violence must stop, and the way to stop it is for the Israeli occupation of Palestine to come to an end so everyone can live there with justice and freedom and peace.
There were funerals for at least 3 Palestinians killed in the West Bank today. Again, the Palestinian death toll has now climbed over 400. That includes nearly 24 children. The Palestinian Authority has called for an emergency Arab League meeting about the situation. We'll continue following this story on air and online at ksdk.com. You can also get updates on the 5 on Your Side app and 5+. And you can watch coverage right after our newscast on NBC Nightly News. We're following some developing news out of South St. Louis tonight. 1 teen is dead and another hurt after a shooting there. It happened just before 3:30 this morning on South Compton near Gravois Park. 17-year-old Ira Hale died. A 16-year-old boy was also taken to the hospital and is expected to physically recover. Anyone with information on the shooting is asked to call police. 2 other teens were also hurt in a separate shooting in North St. Louis. Officers found a 14-year-old boy shot near Page and Taylor last night. A 13-year-old boy was also hurt. They told police they were on Newbury Terrace when they heard shots. Both were struck in the leg. Police are trying to figure out what led up to that shooting, and so far, no word on any arrests. We're entering week 4 of the United Auto Workers strike. Workers are negotiating with General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis. That includes workers at the GM plant in Wentzville. Workers want better pay, shorter work weeks, and traditional pensions. The strike started at just 3 plants initially, then expanding to dozens more. On Friday, the union said it was holding off on expanding to more walkouts because of progress it's made with General Motors.
We were about to shut down GM's largest moneymaker in Arlington, Texas. The company knew those members were ready to walk immediately. And just that threat has provided a transformative win. GM has now agreed in writing to place their electric battery manufacturing under our National Master Agreement.
All 3 automakers have laid off employees at plants across the country, blaming the strike for their actions. The latest was on Friday, when Ford laid off hundreds of workers in Ohio and Michigan. Metro's Call a Ride is back in service for customers after a cyber attack. That's a service that provides transportation for people with disabilities. Phone systems went down after the cyber attack. Metro says some of the lines are back, but not all of them just yet. Anyone who cannot get through on the phone is being told, keep calling. Customers who had reservations for tomorrow will get a ride. Metro is also taking reservations for Tuesday and Wednesday, along with cancellations or questions. Today, there was an event as part of the Faith and Blue nationwide initiative. It was at the Power of Change Christian Center in Cahokia Heights. Faith and Blue brings law enforcement and faith leaders together to build relationships throughout the community.
These guys behind the badge are just like us. And it is so important that we build bridges of relationship that is show more humanitarian kind of spirit, and not just the law and legal side of them, which has been kind of challenging in our community.
They'll hold another similar event tomorrow at the Christian Activity Center in East St. Louis. The House votes on a new speaker this week. Why lawmakers want to elect a new one as soon as possible. And gymnast Simone Biles is back at it. The wins she picked up this weekend. Does fall really make you more tired? We verify why that could be affecting your sleep.
Make me more tired because it's cool outside. The way we started off this morning, hard to get out of bed. We did warm up nicely, though. The sun's out. How that leads to the rest of the week as that trend is concerned, and when we'll see another dose of fall-like air.